Coming up on Talk is Cheap, we're going to look at the Soloman Islands. Lots of weird, crazy stuff going on there. We'll see you soon. Welcome, planet Earth and beyond, to another exciting episode of Talk is Cheap. I'm Pete Halbleib and happy to be with you. And as always, to my right...
Yo, Pete. Good to see you again.
Likewise. How's it going, Dano?
Well, we'll see.
Oh, God, yeah. Let the comments about the damn soundboard start, so...
I love it.
Yeah, that's
I was going to get the exact results for the...
Oh, for the poll that we did?
But majority says yes, keep it.
Vast majority, or was it a tight race?
I'll look it up as we
as we go through here, so update coming on that, because I'm hoping we don't have any ballot issues or hacking of voting machines, and all that crap. Yeah, hopefully.
Maybe somebody voted twice.
Yeah, how do we know? Maybe it's no good anymore.
Right.
But hey, Boyd, what do you think over there?
It's rigged.
It's rigged. It's all rigged. Yes. It's
very positive. Very positive.
Yeah, good. And so, how's Boyd doing?
Oh, just fantastic, Pete. I've been on vacation for a little while, and
recharging the batteries. Are
you bet.
Awesome.
Yeah, and all excited about listening to your guys' stuff tonight. And
yep, as am I. Interested in listening to your guys' stuff. So yeah, a lot of folks don't know is that we really don't share the topics between us too much. Maybe a little teaser here and there, but for the most part, the person that's presenting has all the cards and the aces in up their sleeves. So that's pretty cool. Dan, do we need to make some plugs on some fundraising merch and stuff?
Yeah, you want to plug, Pete?
Yeah. Buy some merch from us, folks. We're looking for support, fundraising, help keep all of our subscriptions, equipment up to date, all that rent paid, all that fun stuff. Dano, there's so much cool stuff that you can get. I mean, there's posters, there's beach towels, there's of course a whole selection of t-shirts, and if you like to drink liquids, with K2D4 cup, awesome. I have one. I have several now, so it actually works out great. Something about it energizes the liquid you put in there. Good vibes going down the gullet.
And we gotta, if you want those orders, your merch before, I can't even guarantee anything, but I would say get it in this weekend here so you can get it before Christmas, because there's a kind of how long did it take to get yours, Pete?
Yeah, you know what, I ordered, it was under a week, I'd say, but with the holidays coming up, just shipping and transit times tend to slow down a little bit, and depending on volume and stuff and weather conditions, of course, in the Midwest and, well, I guess now everywhere, you never know what you're going to get. They can find a link to that right on the K2D4 webpage, right?
It's all there, k2d4network.com. Click on the store link up above. It'll be up in the upper navigation bar there, and it's there.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah.
But also make sure you use the code HOLIDAY18, folks. HOLIDAY18, no spaces, and that'll give you 10% off. I'm running that to the end of the year. So this is I'm not going to be one of those people that has a coupon code every month. This is just a Christmas special to say thank you guys. And if you're on the fence about getting one, get one now while it's on sale. So.
Of course, he did that after I ordered my merchandise. So, oh well.
You got to be smart. You're like, Black Friday's coming up.
I should have waited for Black Friday and all that, and it would have been better. But oh well, I enjoy it. I'm getting use out of them already. So
I got the board up here though. It was 93% yes for the soundboard.
And does it tell you how many votes were cast for it?
I don't see anything there.
I don't either.
But still,
yeah, overwhelmingly yes. Probably only a handful of no votes.
You don't argue with that.
No, we'll probably, I guess keep complaining about it if you want, but it's not going anywhere for now.
The people have spoken.
That's right, yes. Hey, maybe for those folks that don't like the soundboard, maybe you can call into the number, and our voicemail number is 256-510-5234, and suggest sound bites for Dan to put on the soundboard. Please, no copyrighted stuff because that gets us in trouble.
Oh, yeah. That sounds good.
Yeah. One more, Dan. Give me another one.
Think you can handle that?
I think so. Can I go ahead with a little more on the voicemail? What else they can do there, Dan?
That sounds good. We do have Ben called back.
Yeah.
Do you want to listen to Ben again?
Yeah. All right. Okay. For those that have been following along, Ben called in a couple weeks ago complaining about how I mispronounced some words. The phone connection was terrible. It dropped off. And then I took the opportunity, without Ben around to defend himself, to just basically slam him every chance I get for the last couple episodes. I kind of got over it, and then
slam him. You did.
I did, and so anyway, Dan was like, "Oh, by the way, Ben called back." So, bracing here to see what scathing response Ben has for me. So go ahead and fire it up, Dano.
Hey guys, here's my constructive criticism. Calling back. I'm sorry I left you so shook, Pete. You've got a great radio voice, and it's fun to listen to.
Oh, thanks, Dan.
When I heard you
Ben.
mispronounce catacombs and zeitgeist, I felt that it discredited what you were talking about. And I imagined that you were reading off a piece of paper instead of speaking from personal knowledge and research. And it's only my opinion, but when I'm just listening and not watching the videos, the soundboard can be very distracting.
Oh.
You guys have a great day.
Thanks, Ben. Oh, okay. Well, Ben, first off, before I say anything, I want to applaud you for your even keel callback. It very clearly you took the high road on this one. And then I'm going to go and talk a little bit about zeitgeist and catacomb. Okay. And I think I got it right that time. First off, thank you. If I was mispronouncing a word, I'm glad that you called me on it. I'm not going to mention anything about grammar police or anything because I do like to pronounce things correctly. But I will also say there may or may not have been alcohol involved. And my last resort, it's all regional dialect. It's all regional dialect. Dan did do a little research though and went online and looked up the official pronunciations of zeitgeist and catacomb. Dan, you want to pull that up for us? Okay, so here's catacomb. Start in American English.
Catacomb.
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 Okay.
Like a cat and then a comb.
And a comb. Yep. Ben, you're right on there. Okay, play the other one.
Catacomb.
Oh,
Catacomb.
And I think that maybe that's how I pronounce the word, and I'm gonna blame it on my youth and the summering in Manchester because that is the British English pronunciation for it. In the summer we'd make catacomb.
I should put that on the soundboard.
Catacomb.
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 We'd summer in Manchester and we'd make meat helmets. And anyway, sorry.
Meat helmets.
That's an Austin Powers reference for those of you that got it. In the summer, we'd make meat helmets. And so now zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist.
Okay, zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist.
And then UK,
Zeitgeist.
the same.
Zeitgeist.
Crikey, zeitgeist. Oh, anyway.
So you got that one wrong?
I think so. I might have said Zitgeist on there. Ben, you know what? Call back, and if you know what episode that was, I'd love to go and review it. Just because, again, I personally can't remember when maybe it was the underground tunnels in San Francisco was probably the catacombs one.
Oh yeah,
I bet you that
is it.
But the Zeitgeist one, I'm not exactly sure. So
Yeah.
Ben, if you recall it, call back. Otherwise, water under the bridge. I'm okay with letting it go. And again, it's regional dialect, and that's going to be my excuse for every word I mispronounce.
Yeah, voicemail down below. Don't be afraid to use it, guys. That's what we got it for.
Yeah,
Get some use out of it. Interact with us. Always like to hear people.
Yeah,
Make sure there's real people out there watching and not bots or thoughts or
yeah, or the government spying on us, or the YouTube execs just looking for ways to ban us and stuff like that.
So before we get into your topic, Pete,
Yeah, what's up?
I looked at today's emails. I always check my emails before I get my day started. Probably not the best idea, but
Yeah, well, whatever
it
works.
Last week I was talking about NASA and how. Well, I guess I didn't talk about them. I made a little blurb video.
Mhm, yeah, I
the
saw that.
highlights.
Oh, I watched that then, and some of the comments in our section were spot on. It was terrible.
It was good. Like,
Yeah.
I like the one guy said he was talking about that astronaut, and he's like, "This window liquor."
Yeah.
It's like you're an astronaut, but you've never gone in space. It's basically what's going on.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
But why this is so clear, it's like they were always kind of like, oh, we want to go out to outer space and explore. We want to get on that dark side of the moon, the back side of the moon there. We've never been there before. Well, here's an article. Now, China was talking about they want to land on the far side of the moon. They say, but no one has ever landed there. It's like, yeah, right.
No onions.
The Change 4 rover will explore the landing site, probing it with ground-penetrating radar and measuring the mineral composition with an infrared spectrometer. If water is present, the rover might find it. So now they're always hinting at that water. Remember before it was like, there's no water up there?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like,
right.
Now they're acting like you're crazy if you don't think the water's up there.
Yeah.
See how clearly that switched?
Yeah, just overnight almost, right?
We've always kind of been saying that, and then they're okay. Now NASA's finding like, there's people that actually believe there wasn't water up there before.
Yeah, after we told them for 50 years there wasn't.
The lander will also conduct experiments in lunar gardening.
Cool.
A small climate-controlled greenhouse in the lander will test whether potato and what is that?
Thale cress.
Thale cress seeds can sprout and photosynthesize in low gravity without the twin protections of a thick atmosphere and magnetic field.
Oh, interesting. That's kind of a cool test.
So now, hey, there's water up there. Let's try growing seeds. See, now they're starting to acclimate that public.
Mm-hmm.
And then pretty before you know it, we got bases on the backside of the moon. And they'll just be like,
more bases on the backside of the moon.
They'll say, we just built it.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. All of a sudden they'll start popping up, but they've been there for years.
And the way they say they're going to do this is there's a satellite. They're going to use because it's on the backside of the moon there. You can't get that direct feed back to the Earth. So they're going to have a satellite as a mediary.
Sure.
Between
pick up the signal, come around and send it off kind of deal.
So I just thought that was interesting. Wanted to share it while it was current news there. So.
Yeah, that's interesting. China's going to get on the backside and shine a big light on the bases that America's got there. So be ready for that. There's going to be probably a lot of stuff coming out of the conspiracy side there.
I don't know how that's all going to go, but I think most continents got bases up there already, and they kind of divided that land already.
I think so.
You know,
I think all the major powers.
From what I heard, it's like Antarctica. Everybody has a little piece, and they have their own.
And there's a treaty about how they can use it, and gentleman's agreement not to
go
spill
crazy,
it, and all that stuff. Spill the beans on it.
Well, we'll see.
We shall.
So, what do you got for us today, Pete?
Oh, awesome. Okay, I'm going to talk about a topic that was recommended by one of our viewers, Michelle Granville. And she said, hey, you guys, you basically need to check out the dragon snakes of the Solomon Island. And that piqued my curiosity because I'm like, dragon snakes, cool. Not exactly, I came in thinking it was one thing and came out realizing it was another. Now, I also took the opportunity because when I started researching the Solomon Islands, there's a lot of crazy, crazy stuff.
I wasn't ready with that one.
No.
I never will be. What did I do with it? It's the intro.
Space Force.
Space Force. Yeah. All right. Well, Dan finds out because there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the Solomon Islands. And although I didn't find a lot of photographic or video evidence, there were some accounts that were crazy, crazy stuff. Right? There was some pretty cool stuff that was that explorers that noted stuff from around the turn of the century. So anyway, I'm going to expand it. Not only talk about the dragon snakes, I'm going to talk about the mumu or chowa chowa and the kakamora, and we'll get to what those are a little bit. Solomon Islands. For those that don't know, it's a sovereign state consisting of 6 major islands and over 900 smaller islands, so nearly it's an archipelago of about 1,000 islands. It's in Oceania, lying to the east of Papua New Guinea or northwest of Vanuatu. Let's just say off the coast of Australia, northeastern coast of Australia, and it's about 11,000 square miles is the combined land mass, and so there's
what?
I'm sorry. I was watching Dan with the map there. So Dan's got the map.
Pause.
Map up. Okay, hit pause. Yeah, catch it in editing, Dan. Oh, wait. So give you an idea where it is, and if you scroll out a little bit, you can see where Australia's at there to kind of give you an idea. So it's out there, kind of all by itself out there in the Pacific. For those that follow the war stuff, this was a pretty strategic island group in World War II, and there was a lot of fighting on Guadalcanal. Movies were made about that. And actually, my father, who was a World War II vet, fought in New Guinea off the coast of Australia, defending America and its greatness. These islands are home to many mysteries and lore, and it's been kind of passed down through generations. And the natives there kind of accept this stuff as fact, as just part of life. And so it's pretty interesting. So to dive in a little bit about Michelle's topic in specific, dragon snakes. What the heck are dragon snakes?
Are they dragons? With snakes?
They are. Yeah, they're dragons.
Come on.
They're dragons that shoot snakes out of their eyeballs and then laser beams and stuff. Anyway, no.
Because when I was typing in for your intro, I just searched dragon snakes and I saw snakes with many heads.
Oh, and all that was one of the challenges too. Because if you Google dragon snakes, Solomon Islands, it's mostly like pictures of different lizards and snakes and stuff like that, and then you have to kind of pick and choose where to find the information about the paranormal, the phenomena that's going on down there.
Correct.
So I can sense that the folks watching are on the edge of their seat and they're just screaming at their computers or TV sets going, Pete, tell us what the hell dragon snakes are. Well, to put it really like kind of plainly, they're just mysterious lights that are seen. They're UFO-like. And they seem to be found in concentrations on the islands of Guadalcanal, Maleta, and Makira. And those islands have the most reports. And most of them describe a light or lights in the sky, not necessarily snake-like. It's not like a serpent going through the sky, but orbs and discs and things like that. More traditional UFO type stuff. But what's unique about it is that people are seeing these coming out of the water, the ocean, going back in the ocean, entering the jungle, and like appearing to crash, and then they just disappear and there's no wreckage and they're just, where are they going? And what's different I found with these accounts than when you normally come across a UFO account. Of course, you come across UFO abduction accounts and stuff like that, but the population down there really treats these lights as unfriendly, and they're allegedly responsible for the murders and disappearances of locals in the indigenous population. When I was looking at, there was accounts of them chasing fishing boats, chasing people into the forest, into the jungle. And so they don't necessarily like these lights around too much. But in one of the hot spots in northwestern Guadalcanal, people can see lights almost every night. And it's pretty easy to allegedly see these lights. Yep. And now with that, though, you would think there would be just this plethora of photographic evidence of Solomon Island UFOs. I Googled 19 ways from Sunday trying to find photos of people claiming they got lights off of Guadalcanal.
Well, let me ask you this. So are these Solomon Islands, is it like a third world country, or how is it living here?
Is it third world? I don't know, but they've got like tribal people that live in the jungles. I mean, the photos I saw, there's technology and there's Western influence in there, but these people living out in the jungles are really, really basic.
Yeah, so they're not going to have photographs.
Yeah, not necessarily, but it's a tourist destination, and people, modern technology is out in the cities there and stuff. But I would still expect, somebody at some point to snap some photos or videos of this and put it on the internet, but not so much. You can actually see that most of the population is concentrated around the coast, so it makes sense that they see these lights in the ocean.
Looks like they got some farmland here.
Mm-hmm.
If memory serves me right, I do believe that somewhere along the Solomon Islands, I do believe there was actual World War II footage that has been suppressed over the years.
That show this?
That shows USOs.
Ooh, yeah, okay, which they just get above the water and then they're UFOs, yeah.
And along with that aspect, just the other night, I was watching something on the History Channel,
Mhm.
and Amelia Earhart, they're still trying to find where she crashed.
Yep.
And there's some suspicion that there may have possibly been some UFO
Faux
activity
activity,
or
yeah.
USO activity with her radio going out all of a sudden.
Really?
So it's a pretty
Interesting.
interesting place and kind of falls into that realm of the paranormal and
Yeah.
unknown.
Well, and if you think about that too, for that time frame, any UFO, USO that's out there probably wasn't used to seeing anybody flying in this area. I mean, that was the first. She was trying to do around the world, wasn't she?
Yes, and
Yep.
she was one of her primary missions was to contact indigenous people,
As she went along.
and she was one of the first airplanes that a lot of the tribe
Actually,
members
ever
saw,
have seen, yeah.
and many of them. When she first contacted, I think that was in New Guinea. I think.
Okay. Yep.
There was a lot of the older tribes that had never seen a white person before.
Oh, sure. Right. Much less a white woman. Coming
correct.
around.
So, and there's still a lot of information about that out there, or conspiracies.
Sure.
I was just gonna mention the city.
Yeah, I could
Dingo.
Dingo. I saw you
I like
over there
it.
chuckling to yourself as you're scrolling around.
Awesome.
So there are several well-documented sightings by individuals that have gone down there, and in quite recent times. There's Mr. Marius Boyeron, I think I pronounced that right. Anyway, he's a retired Australian veteran of the Royal Australian Air Force, and he documented well over 60 of these sightings back in 1995. Marius went on to write a book called Solomon Island Mysteries, Accounts of Giants and UFOs in the Solomon Islands. Okay, so that's where when I came across that, when I was looking up dragon snakes, and I saw giants, well, then I started looking into that. And that's why I expanded the topic, because there's some really neat stuff going on, down in the Solomon Islands. Check it out. I looked it up. You can buy his book online and stuff, and it looked pretty interesting. There's also another gentleman, a British geologist by the name of Mr. Grofer, in 1950 to 1960, who saw these UFOs and reported them back to England. Now, so we've got two folks and allegedly that have cited these and reported these. Now, you kind of go back to the 50s and 60s. Like nowadays, anytime you see a light in the sky, that's weird. Oh, it's government testing. New airplane, new aircraft. Da 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 da. Well, I knew we were flying. We had jets in the 50s and 60s, but I find it a little harder to believe, back in that time that they had this technology, or if it was such prominent out there that they were letting public see it, like even if it was down in the Solomon Islands, there's obviously Western influence there and people going there. So
it'd be a good remote place to do stuff like that.
Yeah, but why would you do it over the major islands? Why not take one of those?
Well, because everybody's just tribal.
Yeah, but if you scroll out back on that map there, why pick Guadalcanal? Why pick Maleta? Why not, pick something off to the right that's another, 1,000 miles offshore?
Like the Pica here.
Yeah, right? It looks like a good place to... It's got a road right down the middle of it. There's one road in the place. So, to me, it's like, why would you do this right offshore of a fishing village where everybody can see it when you have places like that you can just go and do it at? I don't get
exactly.
After years and years of these things being cited and people looking into it, these dragon snakes are thought to be utilizing underground and underwater UFO bases, mostly located in Maleta. I visited a website called locklip.com, and the author there had wrote up his experience. He traveled to there, which kudos to him, and did provide a map showing where some of these bases, underground, underwater bases, are located. Daniel, can you pull up that map that I had with the... Now, this map is, you can see actually from the bottom there, it's a 1988 to 2000 Microsoft program. So, it's not the most detailed, and there's a little pixely. But if you look kind of right in the middle there, it's got all those thumbnails in there. One's just off the coast, and there's like three more in there. And this is where he claims these UFO bases are. And he garnered this information by talking to the locals who have accepted these things and supposedly know the areas to stay away from.
Interesting. So these are on land.
Yeah, some of them are on land, and there's one that's out in the ocean. And these are the only ones that he found. He said, he's certain there's more out there, but these are the ones that he's confident in. And that's on the island of Maleta. So if you're ever down on Solomon Islands, start looking around. There's a circular reef hole, UFO entrance, a UFO lake in there as well. So for whatever reason, they're utilizing that island pretty heavily to come in and go out of. With their UFOs. So that's pretty interesting. Again, I was really surprised, guys, that there wasn't something online, more photos of these alleged lights. I would have liked to have taken a little closer look at them. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we've got UFOs on Solomon Islands, dragon snakes. And as I was researching this, I came across a website that said, oh, and by the way, the Solomon Islands are known for their race of giant people. Okay, so I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting.
Define giant.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah, big, tall, not 50 feet tall. Basically, they're describing a creature that's similar to the Bigfoot or Yeti or Yowie. That's the Australians' version. So it's a Bigfoot type creature that they're describing. They're referred to as the Chowa, or Moo by the locals. Although I did find one website that said the Moo referred to the little people. We'll let that get hashed out in the comments. There are 3 different types allegedly, and anybody that spends any time in the Sasquatch realm always hears about different types of Bigfoot. So I thought that was interesting. So they're all bigger. That's a true story. Yep. They're all bigger than humans, but they range in size and hair length. So some of them are as tall as 13 feet tall, and then it goes down to your 7 or 8 foot. And apparently, the taller they are, the more hair they have, and as they get shorter, their hair is shorter.
And I'm a man.
So that's pretty interesting. They're most prominently found in the mountainous jungles of Guadalcanal. Good place to be if you're a relic hominid trying to hide out from the modern people. It's been part of the Guadalcanal people's history for centuries. Now, what I find interesting about this too, and just the Sasquatch phenomena in general, is, we've got Native Americans that have a version of a Bigfoot, right? And then you go halfway across the world, and here's a small island culture with their version of a Bigfoot that's described nearly identical to what we're seeing here. So I don't know what kind of internet they had back then and to communicate, to coordinate these types of fairy tales to be made up, but it was pretty good apparently because
message in a bottle.
Yeah, right. They were throwing messages in the bottle. What they do deviate a little bit from what you hear about the typical American Sasquatch is that they have their own language and ability to communicate with humans as well. Now, that's not totally far-fetched. You do hear about that in some Native American lore, and they're wild forest people and that they could communicate, but more modern you don't get a lot of those modern reports where they're communicating, at least not verbally. And what's unique here is that they were known to eat humans. Okay, which again, you can find that in Native American culture, but it effectively kept the population of the Solomon Islands from settling the interior of the islands. And if we look on the map, you can see that the vast majority of these cities are concentrated around the coast. And you'd think, with, like I said, Western influence and development and stuff, that they would slowly be moving more and more into the mountains.
I know, right?
Yep. And that has changed a little bit.
Well, when you look at the scope of this thing, like if they had a hurricane, I don't know how bad the hurricanes are in this area.
I would guess they get them on occasion.
Yeah, because one went up to the Philippines not that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
They would just wipe that out.
Yeah, you'd think, right?
Like a mop.
Yeah. Just take them out. But, we're talking 10,000 square miles of landmass, so there is a decent chunk of land. They're thought to live in the jungles, utilize the vast cave systems of the island as well. That's something that you hear a lot when you talk about these types of creatures. And I mentioned they used to eat people, right? Or they were known for eating people, and apparently they used to eat people up until about the year 2000, when a bishop, I forget what religion, we'll just call him probably some sort of Christian religion. A bishop met with the leader of the giant race, Luti Makode, and somehow convinced him to no longer target humans for food. I guess we're really delicious or something down there. I bet you we're easy to catch and kill is the thing,
I agree.
That's probably why.
Easy targets.
Yep. And apparently this led to what they refer to as the giant wars, where these different clans fought with one another around the year 2000 because they didn't want to stop eating humans. They didn't like that their leader said no more human eating, so it led to this big war between the giants, which apparently the good guys won because they're not eating humans as much anymore. I did find something interesting too, and they talked about the sightings of these creatures when firearms were introduced to the islands, and that sightings dropped pretty quickly because
they kind of tucked away.
Yeah, because humans must have started killing them as they're eating their crops or taking their animals or something. But then my understanding too is that there was some gun control implemented on the islands, and so they started restricting gun usage and taking guns, and then now the sightings have started to increase again as less people have them. So yet another reason to not want gun control is that it helps keep the Sasquatches away and keep them from eating. I was
going to say it didn't take long to bring in the democratic ideology.
Yeah, I know, right? So anyway, yeah. And next thing you know,
again.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything else about that. And Boyd, you mentioned about the, in World War II footage, seeing lights and USOs and stuff like that during battle. Allegedly, again, I'm going to say allegedly, the Japanese force in World War II encountered these giants and were so badly beaten, they eventually fled the area where they were setting up to provide Allied resistance when they were landing at Red Beach and Henderson Airfield. So these Allied troops were landing to fight the Japanese because, like I said, it's a strategic island, and they hit shore and there were no Japanese around because apparently they were attacked by these giants. And it went on to say that the giants were on the Allied side, and they didn't like the giants. Okay, so anyway, I stopped reading at that point.
I think the giants were eating them.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. So that's pretty interesting too. And again, like all things Sasquatch, there's no good videos or pictures out there, but it adds to the mystery of the Solomon Islands. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is the Kakamora. Okay. And these are the hobbits of the Solomon Islands, okay? The little people, all right? And here's an interesting note. For those that are kind of following this anthropological discovery stuff, recently we discovered a Flores man. And that was a hobbit that was discovered on Flores Island, Indonesia. And it's only about 2,800 miles away. Hit that Google link there. And I got Flores, and I've got the that's the capital of Makira Island.
Makira.
Yeah, that's Makira. So if you scroll back out and you can look on the left, I've got a pin on Flores there. Okay. So that's about, what did I say? 2,800 miles between Flores, the center of Flores, and Makira. Now, when you're talking about traveling oversea, look at all of those little jumping off points that they'd have. Okay, so if you're a creature living, for 100,000 years, you're going to expand and you're going to go. So I don't find it that hard to believe that these types of creatures could make it over all the way over to Makira. There is an artist rendering that I did have of the Flores man that was on the submitted document. There we go, Dano. What I find interesting here, and this is just an artist's or scientist's attempt at showing what it looked like. What's a little different with the Kakamora is that the sightings range from 6 inches to 4 feet tall. Okay, and it seems like the average height is about 2 feet. Now,
2 feet.
yeah, wouldn't that be?
Oh my god.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nuts? They don't.
Think you can handle that?
Yeah, they're described as having long hair, which this picture doesn't have, and very sharp fingernails. Okay, they can't create fire, but they've been known to steal it from humans. Okay, now Flores, man.
So that when you say steal, they like
They
go
would,
over there and
they
grab
would,
it, grab a light and then run back away.
Yeah. You have a campfire going or a cooking fire, and you go into your hut or your wherever to sleep at night, and then they sneak up and steal the embers and run off with them to go start their own fires or something.
That's interesting.
Yeah, right.
Uh-huh.
Here's another interesting thing here is that they're afraid of the color white.
What?
Allegedly, these things can be mischievous and they can lure people into the woods and they start harassing them. But if you take out like a white handkerchief or something and wave it around, they run away terrified.
Isn't white for I surrender?
Well, yeah, international. I don't know if they necessarily are familiar with that.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they think it's that you're supposed to surrender. I don't know. But they're supposedly afraid of the color white. They eat mostly nuts, berries, and opossums, or at least the Solomon Island version of opossums. And they're known for their strength. And they're allegedly as strong as 3 or 4 men, but they do have a weak spot, and that's their buttocks. So if you hit them or kick them in the ass, they'll leave you alone or something. Now, I'm not making this up. I read it on the internet.
That's crazy.
Yep.
This is insane!
Yes. So they also enjoy rain and moonlight, and they have been groups of them have supposedly been seen dancing in heavy rainfalls and even singing.
Doing a little rain dance.
Yeah, right.
That's
and
interesting.
They get out there, and they like the heavy rain, and they get out and they dance. Maybe it's their communal bath time or something. Who knows? And I mentioned earlier, they've been known to lure people in the wood. They use the sound of a baby crying. So apparently they can wail and whine like a baby crying. People go out in the woods to look for them. And then they start getting harassed and stuff. And then I guess all you have to do is pull out your
God, who
snot
else?
rag and wave it, and they run away.
Who else did that? There was another episode I did. I talked about them making the skinwalkers.
Yeah, right.
Make the baby noises.
Yep,
yeah.
and Sasquatch have allegedly have been known to make baby noises as well to lure people, as well as they'll whistle. Now, I didn't come across anything about whistling here, but the American Sasquatch, the two things you never want to go investigate is whistling in the woods and babies crying in the woods. So sorry, all you infants worldwide, you're on your own if you're out there.
We're all getting killed here!
Yes. Very similar to the giants, are found in caves and jungles of Macura, Guadalcanal, and Maleta. The locals view the areas where they live as taboo, in which it makes it difficult to attempt study. So the locals know enough, hey, that's not cool to go in there, so they don't really want to take other people there either. What's interesting with the little people is that America has its lore of little people, and the Adirondack Range, East Coast of America, was known for its 3 to 4 foot tall hairy creatures, and the natives that used to live there would come across them occasionally up in the high mountains of when they were up hunting and stuff. Well, now because of, again, modern technology, food supply, they're not going into these remote regions anymore to hunt of the Adirondacks. So now they're not coming across them. But there's been reports of people seeing these things, and they're like ripping apart old rotted stumps and eating the bugs.
The ripping and the tearing. The ripping and the tearing.
They're ripping and tearing old stumps apart and old logs to get at the bugs and stuff. So even the little people is not exclusive to this area of the world. There was a British anthropologist, 2 of them, Dr. C.E. Fox and Dr. F.H. Drew. They studied the Solomon Islands in the 1920s, and they stated that the Kakamora are not quite human. So apparently they came across these creatures. They vary in height from 6 inches to 3 or 4 feet. Most of them are considered to be quite harmless, but sometimes they have been known to attack men. When they do so, they use their fingers, which are furnished with long, sharp nails with which they stab. So can you imagine a group of like 4-foot little creatures that are super strong, just tearing at you with their fingernails? Oof. They wander about the forest eating nuts, ripe fruit, and opossums, the last they are fond of. They live in holes and caves and sometimes in banyan trees. they have a language, but not like the Melanesian languages. So these two explorers or anthropologists on top of it came in and apparently encountered these creatures in the 20s enough to know they talked, and that's crazy. And then there's a Reverend Charles Fox who wrote a book, The Threshold of the Pacific, in 1924, and wrote about him. He used the name as the title for his autobiography. He said that they build no houses, have no tools, make no fires, which is different than that stealing fire bit I talked about earlier, but they are strong and live in holes or caves. So now you've got 2 people in the 20s or 3 people in the 20s that went down there and reported on these things.
Yeah, so not particularly old or anything. I mean, yeah, they have, they probably don't have, well, we talked about the photograph thing. I guess that was big cameras in the 1880s or whatever it was.
Yep. Okay, and I misspoke earlier. I was talking about the firearms with the giants. The actual note about the firearms was based on these Kakamoras, not the giants.
Oh, okay.
So they almost ended in the earliest 20th century when many local people obtained firearms. And then firearms were forbidden around 1920. And in a few months, the first reports started coming up of these Kakamoras being seen and spotted, and they were stealing fruits in gardens and seen near villages. One of the challenges that I had when you search Kakamora, and anybody that's got a small child is probably knows exactly what I'm going to say, is that there's a Disney movie, Maona, or whatever it was called. And when you Google Kakamora, everything comes up, pages and pages on this Disney movie. So it took quite the Moana. There it is, Moana. And you can see there now, if you're trying to look up Kakamora, you're going to find pages and pages of this Disney movie. Okay, so it took quite the internet sleuthing to find information.
Well, that's what they do. They take something that's real and then make it into a story and then
completely bury it.
That's a good way to do it.
Yep.
But it also gets it out there too to people. So there's kind of a
double-edged sword. But the problem is, oh yeah, I know that it's a Disney movie that's made up. Let's look at Talking Mouse. So anyway.
But that's the whole thing with these UFO movies too coming out, that they're actually ramping up the releases and having more of these movies where they're showing real alien stuff to the public to get it out there.
And that's just to make sure that when it does become publicly known that they are here, we won't be so shocked.
Right. I don't know. Yeah. There's so many damn soup cans out there that would deny it. They'd just break right down. I don't know.
I think we ought to try and get some of our viewers out there to get some money together somehow by buying product and stuff so we can go there.
Yeah,
I would love to go there for a week.
Boyd, you make a great point, and I want to throw out there to our viewers. We have viewers all across the globe, which is crazy and it's awesome. But why can't we get some rich Saudi prince or somebody that's got millions of dollars that's willing to fund a couple trips for Talk Is Cheap? I would even go as far as to invite them along and they can come with us.
How about George Soros?
Bad idea. Yeah, bad idea. Well, you know what? I guess his money will spend just as easily as anybody else's.
He only pays somebody for chaos.
Yeah. Well, we can, once we get back out of the woods and we hit the tavern, that's where we can cause some chaos, I suppose. We know that. Yep. So, it'd be great, if we could fund trips like that, but we can't do it without some support. Period. I mean, I guess we could all get credit cards and max them out and have some fun for about 6 months, and then we'd be screwed when we came back.
If anybody wants to donate, we do got our Patreon down below.
That's right. Yeah.
Monthly reoccurring. It can be as little as $1 a month. That all helps. You get a bunch of people with $1. You can do some damage.
If every one of our subscribers to our channel donated $1, that would be more than enough to get us to the Solomon Islands for a week-long or 2-week-long investigation.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. $1. I'd even go as far as to donate even more than $1 to the cause.
Well, we are going to East City Ranch. So
yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, have we picked a date for that yet, Dan?
No.
Okay, we have to do that.
He doesn't have his schedule up yet for 2019.
Okay, when that happens, yeah. So, and that's coming out of our pockets,
Right.
We're not getting any donations for that, and
But that'll be good because I think once we get out there, get acclimated to this energy.
I'm looking forward to it. I got to step up too and do a little prep work so that I can tune myself in a little bit before. Because I did read on his website, there's no alcohol allowed on there.
Yeah, I was going to tell you about that.
Yeah, no, I already read all about that, Dan. So by about day 3, I'll be a shaking, sweaty mess out there in the desert.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
definitely.
That'll be a good
Think
time.
you can handle that?
I think I can handle that, Dan. So maybe I'll go through a cleanse or something before I get out there, mind and body. Well, folks, that's what I had for you. Go check it out. Do some Google search. Pretty cool. If you happen to be from the Solomon Islands, I'd love to hear for you. Give us a call at 256-510-5234 or 256-510-K2D4 and tell us about all the stuff you're seeing down there. That'd be great. Have a good one, folks.
Peace. Bye-bye.